You ever sit in bed wondering why you're still thinking about someone who made you cry more than smile? Why you pull away from people who are kind, but run after the ones who don't care? Why normal feels boring, and chaos feels like love? Here's the truth no one told you. The way you love wasn't just something you decided, it's something you learned. Before your first crush, before your first heartbreak, before you even knew what love meant. You learned it the way we all do, by watching, absorbing, surviving. This isn't about blaming your parents, it's about finally seeing the script you were handed, so you can decide if you still want to follow it. Because until you do, you're not really choosing how you love, you're just repeating it. Love is learned, long before it's chosen. Nobody teaches you about love with a textbook. You learn it by what you feel, what you don't feel, what's said, and what's never said at all. Maybe love looked like warmth, hugs, patience, or maybe love looked like walking on eggshells, performing, people-pleasing, never knowing if today was a good day or a bad one. As kids, we don't question it. We memorize it. We turn those experiences into the rules we live by, without even knowing we did. I have to be useful to be loved. If I cry, I'll be left. Silence means I did something wrong. Affection always comes with a price. These become the emotional reflexes that run in the background of every adult relationship. You're not reacting to the person in front of you. You're reacting to the echoes behind them. Attachment is your love. Blueprint. Psychologists call it attachment theory, but think of it more simply. It's your relationship blueprint. The map your brain follows to figure out, am I safe? Am I loved? Will they stay? There are 4 main types. 1. Secure attachment. Love is warm, consistent, safe. You trust others. You trust yourself. You know a disagreement doesn't mean the relationship is over. 2. Anxious attachment. Love feels fragile. You chase. You overthink. Silence is scary. You try to earn love before it disappears. 3. Avoidant attachment. Love feels like a trap. You crave closeness but push it away when it gets too real. Space is safety. Vulnerability feels dangerous. 4. Fearful avoidant, disorganized. A painful mix. You want love, but don't trust it. You swing from clingy to cold. You fear abandonment, but also fear being known. These aren't labels, they're survival strategies. Your younger self's best guess at how to stay connected, even if it hurt. You don't choose familiar, you just gravitate toward it. Ever wonder why you keep dating the same kind of person? It's not because you're unlucky. It's because your nervous system is drawn to what it knows, even if it doesn't like it. We don't fall for people who are good for us. We fall for people who feel familiar, because familiar equals safe, even when it's not. If you grew up working for affection, you'll find yourself working for it again. If you grew up with emotional distance, you'll chase someone who's unavailable. Not because it feels good, but because it feels like home. Your body thinks, this chaos, this inconsistency, I know this. I've survived this before. But you weren't made to just survive love. You were meant to experience it. Repetition isn't fate. It's a loop waiting to be broken. If all your relationships feel like reruns, it's not a coincidence. It's called repetition compulsion. Your brain's attempt to restage the old pain and finally fix it. You date a version of your emotionally distant parent, hoping this time you'll be loved the way you needed. You fall for someone critical, thinking this time you'll prove you're worthy. You reenact abandonment, because your brain is desperate to write a different ending. But that's not healing, that's looping. And unless you name it, interrupt it, choose differently, you'll just keep switching faces in the same old story. Why you miss the people who hurt you. You know they weren't good for you. You remember the anxiety, the tears, the walking on eggshells, and yet, you still miss them. Here's why. Your brain doesn't store memories based on truth. It stores them based on intensity. The way they smiled at you like you were the only person in the world, that stays. The way they ignored your texts, fades. The rare "I miss you" burns brighter than the 100 moments of silence. This isn't a sign that you should go back. It's a sign your brain is replaying the highlight reel and skipping the full season. You're not missing the person. You're missing the version of yourself who felt wanted, even if just for a moment. You are still loving with a child's blueprint. Most of us are still loving with strategies we learned before we had a say. The child who had to fix everyone's mood, the teen who stayed silent to keep the peace, the one who decided love was only given when you earned it. That version of you is still steering the wheel in every relationship. You think you're unlovable because someone failed to love you. You think love has to be chased because someone made you prove your worth. But those beliefs were formed in a chapter where you didn't even know you were writing a story. It's time to go back, not to relive it, but to gently take the pen back. Healing isn't a glow-up, it's a return. Healing isn't a dramatic transformation montage, it's quiet, unphotogenic, awkward. It looks like saying no and sitting with the guilt, choosing someone kind and letting it feel uncomfortable, not texting back just because you're lonely, letting someone love you without feeling the urge to prove yourself. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you were before you were told you weren't enough. It's about returning to your real self, not your reactive self. And that return happens one gentle decision at a time. Safe love feels boring at first. Here's the twist no one tells you. Healthy love feels weird at first. When you're used to chaos, peace feels unnatural. When you're used to chasing, stability feels boring. When you're used to being ignored, being seen feels too much. That's not your heart rejecting safety. That's your nervous system needing to reboot. Healthy love isn't fireworks. It's a campfire. Steady, warm, constant. Not because it lacks excitement, but because it doesn't hurt. You're allowed to choose differently. You get to choose again, even if your childhood told you otherwise. You get to love without proving, be held without performing, say no without being abandoned, stay even when it's hard, and leave even when it feels familiar. The past may have shaped your patterns, but it doesn't get to write your future. You are not doomed to repeat what you saw. You're allowed to become the love you never received. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not broken. You are healing. You're not too much. You were just loved with too little. You're not cold. You're just protecting a warmth that was never safe to show. You're not hard to love. You just haven't been loved in a way that makes you feel safe. But that can change. It starts here, with awareness, with compassion, with choosing people and being people who show up kindly. You don't have to chase love anymore. You can build it, softly, slowly, securely. You are not the love you didn't receive. You are the love you are learning to give. This is the Doodle Life. Subscribe for more stories your heart will remember.